Boom, boom, bam. Welcome back to the Great Debate Show. One half for the good guys, back better than ever, baby. Up in this biatch. And I'm here to discuss the Knicks and the Celtics. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is officially over. It's a wrap. The New York Knicks did exactly what we said that they would do, what we thought that they would do, what we hoped they would do. I still say Knicks fans were a little nervous, but they took care of business, no problem. Um, had a few people telling me, yeah, they're going to do it. I said that they were going to do it earlier today, but there was no guarantee that they were really going to do it. They did do it, though. They did do it. So there we go. The New York Knicks advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they are now officially um, 4 wins away from possibly playing in the NBA Finals. This is the first time that the Knicks have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000, the first time in 25 years. And they were playing the Indiana Pacers the last time they were in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2000. They fell short to the Pacers, who went to the NBA Finals that year and lost to the LA Lakers in six. Now, here the Pacers are back in the Eastern Conference Finals in back to back years. I don't know how many times they had been to the Eastern Conference Finals before last year. I'm not sure, but either way, it wasn't a 25-year drought. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. My co-host Terrence may be in here joining us shortly. If he is, we definitely want to talk to him and congratulate him and see what he thinks about the Knicks in the next round here to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers. Now, he did say after the Knicks went up 2-0 against the Celtics that they were pretty much in the NBA Finals. And he didn't want to speak too soon, I believe he said, but he did speak soon because, like, they still have to play the Pacers. But he said that they were in the NBA Finals. I want to ask him that and see if he wants to retract from that or if he actually still agrees with that. Let's see if he doubles down on it. If he doubles down on it, he saw the Knicks though. He said it. The Knicks had already beaten the Cavs. I don't know. Some people are impressed. Some people aren't that impressed. He thinks that his Knicks are in the NBA Finals. What do you all think? They still have to play this game. They have to play this series. We'll talk about the matchups and everything that it brings. Versus each other. Tyrese Halliburton versus Big Body Brunson. This is going to be good. This should be good. It could be as I was just listening to Big Perk say, it could be a brawl for it all. And I don't know. Perk's got them going. He's got the Knicks winning in seven. I think if it goes 7 games, the Knicks are in trouble. I don't know if Halliburton is another guy who is shown and he has some clutch in his gene also now. We'll see. I'm just saying you know let's not get carried away and disrespect the Pacers. The last couple of teams and people that have been saying that he's overrated and this and that, Tyrese Halliburton. That's what people have been saying. He has really been making them eat those words. And that's why I told you while he is still on his overrate this, overrate that ish tour. And what if that tour goes on until Father's Day? I don't know how long he's going to be on tour. But right now he is on his overrate that ish tour. And let's see if the Knicks can put a stop to that tour or if they're going to cruise on through and hit some more cities near you and continue to perform up until Father's Day, if you know what I mean. That will be the NBA Finals. Don't count them out. And that really just kind of like really ignites the fire in them from what I've been seeing. But anyway, we are in the building and want to say hello to everybody that is here on the YouTube channel. I'm live on YouTube right now. The Great Debate Show is available wherever you get your podcast. If you have never been here before, please, uh, you know, bear with me here. Be patient and stop by for a minute. Stop, just watch, listen, see if you like the content that I provide to you. I'm here to talk about the Knicks and Pacers preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, recap the Knicks and Celtics, even though there's not a lot to recap. The Celtics got their asses whooped. And they pretty much, after the first quarter, I would say they pretty much gave up and they were ready to get out of there. And anyway, the Knicks did their job. They handled the business, and boy, they handled it in a great fashion because it is the largest playoff win in their franchise history. Um, and I want to talk about Purdy, who got paid today. I did a podcast earlier about that, a little quick short because I was out in the street when that happened, but I still put that up. Check it out. That video was also uploaded. And I want to talk about, Friday Night Smackdown. That's what I'm here for, to review that as well. A 3 hour long show. I'll try to go through it as fast as I can. It wasn't that bad, though, to be honest with you, except for the little snooze fest that we had before the main event match. But the Celtics were unable to snap an NBA streak. The league will not have repeat champions again. And I think that has been going on for, let's see here, a seventh consecutive season after the Knicks got their win. What a surprise. For the seventh consecutive season, we will not have back-to-back champions. So maybe that comes to an end next year because a lot of that stuff usually ends at seven. And that means whoever will win this year probably will win next year. I'm not sure. Yeah, but anyway, hello to everybody that's joining me. I got some people saying hi. Hello to Meter Man or Meteor Man. Not LeBron. Man, these names, y'all kill me with it, man. Not LeBron. Okay, just two people, man. Not LeBron and Meteor Man that says hello. That's for real. That's so for real. Okay, you look just like Nick Gers. Who is Nick Gers? I don't even know who that is. Um, but okay. I don't know if that's in. Okay. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's an insult or a compliment. But I hope you all are doing well. Hope all is well. This is the Great Debate Show. And I'm going to go ahead and get into it. If my co-host comes in here, cool. If not, cool. We're going to run it. Look, the New York Knicks are advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. And this is exactly what I hope for. Knicks, Pacers. I got a lot of stuff to talk about leading up to game one, which will be on Wednesday. A lot of talk we can do. Of course, Terrence, my co-host, being a Knicks fan, if he gets in here, we'll see what he thinks about it and how he likes their chances. Although I'm pretty sure I know what he's going to say because he said that they're in the NBA Finals pretty much. But they got past Boston, and they have done that. And they really did lay the hammer down tonight. But I'm glad they won. I predicted that they would win. And now we just get ready for game 7 on Sunday between the Nuggets and the Thunder. And we'll see how that series turns out. The breaking news out of that series, congratulations to the Knicks. And I'm going to preview the Pacers and Knicks. We've got a couple of more days to do so, though. But that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a brawl for it all. But in other news, we've got a game 7 between the Nuggets and the Thunder Sunday. The Nuggets lost a very key player for Sunday, at least we think right now. Doubtful is what's his name? Damn. I can't think of his damn name. Aaron Gordon. Been saying his name all damn series. Aaron Gordon has a right hamstring strain. I believe it's right. Left or right, though, still. Curry's was the left. I think his is the right. They said he suffered a right hamstring strain, and he is doubtful for game 7. And I don't know what the timetable would be like if he doesn't play, which if he's doubtful, he's probably not playing. Now, I mean, he does have another day to try to see if that thing can kind of, I don't know, get a little better, heal up, not get worse, since they actually got 2 days off this time. Normally, they will be playing tomorrow the way they've been running through this series, playing every other day. But he has an extra day off now. They're not playing tomorrow. He's got tomorrow off, and then the game is Sunday. But he is doubtful. So he's probably not going to play. Can the Nuggets beat the OKC Thunder on the road in this do or die, sudden death game 7? I don't know how many people gave the Nuggets a chance, even if Aaron Gordon was going to be able to play. Now, how much of a chance do you give them since he's going to be out? That's going to be the big thing. That's key. That news came out as soon as the Knicks and Celtics started. That hurts. That's a real stunner to the to the Nuggets fans. Jokic would have to score about 60 if you want to be real. And even then, I don't know if that's enough for them to win. He would have to score 60, he would have to rebound 20 and assist for 15 and probably a 20 assists as well. He'll have to do all of that just to give them a chance to win that game. And I'm not sure if they will do it or not. Jake Henderson is in the building. I'm about to review Smackdown, and he comes in here saying that he's got breaking news. Donald Trump has bought AEW. Donald Trump will make AEW great again. Well, Jake, I hope he buys it then, because somebody needs to make it great again because it is not. So yeah, I hope he does buy it because somebody needs to make it great again, and it don't look like it's ever gonna be Tony Khan. But yeah, so how do y'all like the Knicks and the Pacers? How do you see it? I ain't got much to say about tonight's game. I mean, the Knicks whooped the Celtics ass, and we hoped that they could do it. We knew that they would probably do it. No Tatum. They had some fight in them to at least stretch it to 6 games, but yeah, they finished them tonight, and I think that's what this was all about. Give the Knicks a party, but I hope they don't party too fast. I hope they're not partying too much because they still got 4 more wins and they've got to get by the Pacers. And that's going to be interesting to see. The Pacers just beat the Cavs. Before that, the Pacers beat the Bucks. Um, what were the Pacers, y'all? Were they a fifth seed, fourth seed? I think that was five, and I think they were five. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm trying to see, and the New York Knicks were six. No, six. I don't know where it's starting off at. New York, Indiana. Somebody help me out. I'm not even sure. I don't remember the seedings for the Knicks and the Pacers. I think the Pacers were 4 or 5 though when they played Milwaukee, and the Knicks opened up the playoffs against. I don't even remember who the Knicks. Who did the Knicks beat last series? I don't know. I'm having a brain freeze right now. But anyway, the Knicks and the Pacers are here. Those are the last two remaining. The Celtics are out. There will be new champions this season. Who do you like, the Knicks or the Pacers? And how do you like the Nuggets' chances on winning a game 7 on the road in OKC without Aaron Gordon, who appears to have a right hamstring strain and will be missing. I mean, well, he's doubtful for game 7. And I don't think that they're going to upgrade that down. If he's doubtful, they would upgrade it to questionable, maybe. And even then, I don't think he would go from questionable to playing. But between now and Sunday, I don't even know if that's an early game or not on Sunday or not. That may be kind of a Sunday afternoon game. I don't know if they're going to save that for Sunday night. But anyway, OKC probably has this in the bag now, y'all. I mean, they probably were going to win anyway. I picked them to win mainly because, hey, man, the youth versus the Nuggets experience. Which one was it going to be? And sometimes that experience, as good as it matters, they lack size and depth, and they're going to be gassed. And I think that they don't have that crazy wild third quarter that they normally have. They're not. They're not going to be able to have the chance that they need to win this game. I think the third quarter, the last 5 minutes of the third, I would say, and the first few minutes of the fourth is where the Nuggets really, take off and separate themselves and create this large gap to where even if the lead is only about 8, if they can keep that lead somewhere around 8 and double digits, you know, when it gets to around 6, 7 minutes left in the fourth, yeah, that you're gonna have to keep fighting and swinging because the Nuggets aren't going anywhere, or they probably got you where they want you. But I don't know, without Aaron Gordon, can they do that? Who takes Aaron Gordon's place? Who starts in Aaron Gordon's place on Sunday? That's key too. I'm not sure who it is. I wonder, would it be that guy who snapped out last night? Starts with the S, Stratham or Struther. I don't know what his name is, but he was splashing it out of the corner. The 3 points out of the corner, 3-pointer out the 3-pointer, putting the ball on the ground, taking it to the rim. He looked like he was all right. Don't know where he's been, but I got a feeling if he plays the 2 or the 3, he's gonna have to step up and probably slide in there. I don't know. I don't know who they will be going with if he can't play. Michael Porter Jr. would have to step it up. Jamal Murray would have to step it up, and we know Jokic is going to bring it. But man, the Nuggets' chances are very slim now, with Aaron Gordon being doubtful for Game 7 Sunday. Give me OKC. That means we're probably going to have the Thunder versus the Wolves, and I would say that um, it's going to be hard for the Wolves to beat the Thunder, even though I'll be pulling for the Wolves, especially if they play OKC. Even though I like them too, they're young. They got a lot of good young talent. I love to see teams come up like this the right way. They ain't traded for anybody major. They ain't signed anybody in free agents major. Nobody wants to sign in OKC. Nobody ever does. Just like nobody ever comes to Memphis. And we're probably at least we have less chances of getting a big free agent, a star than OKC. So yeah, we're probably gonna have the Wolves and the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I'm okay with either team that wins it. And we've got the Knicks and the Pacers starting Wednesday, game one. This is gonna be a good NBA Finals, I believe. I think either way, either matchup, I think it could be pretty good. I don't think OKC will blow out the Thunder. I mean, the Timberwolves. I think it will be a competitive series. I don't think they'll beat them in five or anything like that. But I think that the Wolves will really have to come with it in order to take this 6 or 7 games, though. But I think they're capable of doing it. Hell, I think Ant can win, but I don't know. And OKC is good, and defensively is where they shine at, and they get back. They really do run the floor. Indiana is another team that does that. If they were to get past the Pacers, you would have a running, probably high scoring, fast paced NBA Finals with the Thunder and the Pacers. But it may be the Thunder and the Knicks. Could the Knicks beat the Thunder? That's the thing. Either way it goes, I think all the NBA fans win, unless you're a Celtic or a Laker fan. But even then, they probably wouldn't have a problem with seeing the Knicks win their first championship in, I don't know, 50 years. Something like that in over 50 years, or the OKC Thunder winning their first championship ever in OKC. I don't know if they did the Seattle Supersonics ever win a championship. I don't know of them winning one. I don't think they did. Not NBA championships. So this would be great. The Timberwolves, have they ever won an NBA championship? I don't think so. This would be great if they won. Or if the Denver Nuggets can somehow win game 7 and still get past the Wolves in the Western Conference Finals and go to the finals and beat the Knicks or the Pacers. It would be great if the Nuggets won the championship for a second time in 3 years, defeating all the odds, persevering with no head coach, an interim head coach, no general manager. That would be a hell of a story as well. So either way, whoever wins, I think it's a great story. It's a great moment. If the Pacers were to win, same thing. Tyrese Halliburton voted most overrated, and now he's a champion. What a story that would be. That's a big F you to all of my peers. The hell with all of you. Tyrese Halliburton will be walking around like the man, feeling like the goddamn man. So I mean, I'm happy with either 4 of these teams that we're going to get in the conference finals, and I will be comfortable with whoever wins it too. Good NBA playoffs. Surprisingly, this is pretty good as we get ready to go into the NBA on NBC. My co-host Terrence did have a birthday this week, I believe, so he may be partying for his birthday. I don't know. We're gonna keep it moving. And since I've already talked about Pacers, Knicks, I mean the Pacers and Celtics, I'll tell you that Wednesday, game one. I don't know if it's in New York or Indiana. That's key. It would be key for me to know that, and I'm not sure. I don't think it really matters though. If it's in Indiana, the Pacers better watch it because we know how the Knicks play on the road. But the Knicks have gotten some wins at home again now, so maybe they're gonna get their swagger back and be good at home too. I don't know if this series goes 7 or not. I'm not sure. And a matter of fact, I'm not even going to say who I think is going to win that series yet. I got time before I predict that. The game one is until Wednesday. I'll make my prediction Monday or Tuesday. I'm not even going to say just yet. Let me look at the matchups. Let me think about it. I think the Knicks um, can win this series. But again, I don't want to overlook the Pacers and disrespect the Pacers. Miles Turner's been balling, Tyrese Halliburton balling. what's that other guy's name? Needman or whatever, man. They got some guys and they're young and they run the floor. And let's see how Cat matches up with Turner or whoever else. And oh, I'm sorry, Pascal Siakam. They got some guys over there too that can ball. So let's see how this series goes. I'll predict who wins game one in the series before Wednesday. And I think the Thunder probably win game seven, especially now that Aaron Gordon is doubtful with a right hamstring strain. All right, I can go ahead and get into Smackdown now. Already that took 20 minutes, but I I got that part out. And if anybody's about to jump in and start wanting to talk about basketball now, I'm gonna try to move on to the wrestling because I don't have anybody in here right now to talk with me or debate with me about the Knicks and the Pacers coming up, or the Thunder and the Nuggets on Sunday for Game 7. I'm gonna keep it pushing. All right, so SmackDown tonight, 3 hour show on USA. Not that bad this week, even though there's a lot of boring shows that we've had on SmackDown as of late. This one wasn't so bad. They started the night off, um, you know, with Solo Sokola. Solo Sokola is how we started off the night on SmackDown, where he came out and well, they showed a few things, about what happened with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre and Fatu in that match that they had last week, the Fatal Four Way. Um, and how McIntyre and Priest were actually pretty much out of the match after they had their scuffle out of the ring, and Priest put McIntyre through a table. We saw McIntyre tonight. I'll get to him later, but we did not see Damian Priest, and that's interesting because McIntyre is the one whose head hit the floor, but we didn't see him. But we did see Drew McIntyre, and I'll get to him shortly here. They started off though showing again highlights from Orton and Cena. Didn't even see Orton, and we didn't see Cena. And then we start the show. SmackDown opens up again with Solo Sikoa. He comes out to the ring, leading the way, still in the front of Jacob Fatu, the United States champion. He totes that United States champion over his shoulder backwards. And then there was JC Manteo. Now, JC Manteo is Jeff Cobb, formerly known as Jeff Cobb in the other indie promotions that he's been at. I don't know much about him myself. Terrence knows a little bit more about him more than I do, but he's been around. And the real hardcore, diehard wrestling fans know who Jeff Cobb is. But they're going to switch it up in the WWE. They're calling him JC Manteo. And that's what Solo ended up saying in this promo. He opened the promo up pretty good, though. He did so by talking about how everything is kind of, been messed up, and it kind of went downhill after Roman Reigns lost the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40. We're talking over a year ago. But he's coming out saying what we kind of already know. And he's right. So he acknowledges that, shit ain't been the same. And he's basically saying that, man, we need to get some gold here. Jacob Fatu has it with the United States Championship. And he reminds everybody that that's thanks to me. Everything that we do it for each other, the family. That United States Championship on your shoulder shows the love that I have for you. It proves that I love you, Jacob. He said that championship is in the family. He said, but when Roman lost to Cody at WrestleMania, as I said again, he ruined everything for my family. He ruined everything. That's kind of facts, though. Glad somebody's finally saying this stuff. He said we lost everything, but now, I'm here to take it all. I'm here to take it all back. Now, how does he do that? He says that starts with me winning my qualifying Money in the Bank match, grabbing that briefcase, and then going after the title, bringing it back to the family. Strong words, bold prediction, but he definitely seemed like he's ambitious to do it, and he definitely could get the job done. And he said anybody in the back that tries to step in front of him, well, he's got his man, JC. That's JC Mantea, aka Jeff Cobb. He said, I got my man Jacob, 5'2". And we gonna be all gas, no brakes. You're not and he was about to say everything that that Jacob 5'2" says before 5'2", excuse me, before Jacob 5'2" said this is enough. He snatched the mic from Solo Sikoa and he said, yeah, they better get in where they fit in. Let's keep it 100. Solo was trying to say get in where they fit in. That's something that 5'2" always says. He says, let's keep it 100. I told y'all that I was going to win the U.S. title. And I was going to do it with you or without you. He's talking to Solo and kind of looking at JC. Those two didn't really, like make a lot of eye contact. They never really got side by side. They didn't seem to be on the same accord. Keep that in mind. But Jacob Fatu says that I was gonna, win this title regardless, and I was gonna do it with you or without you. Don't get it twisted over here. I told y'all that I was gonna do this. Man, I did it. Solo's looking at him like, yeah, okay. And if anybody gets in my way, well, line them up. Because I will fight them all by myself. Because at the end of the day, Jacob Fatu was all gas, no brakes. Solo starts talking again and he says, of course, I know what you mean. We know what you mean. We know who you are. JC knows what you mean. That's Jeff Cobb. He said, the reason why I'm doing all of this, Jacob, this is Solo talking. The reason why I'm doing all of this, Jacob, is because I love you. And all the things that I said about how he said, I love you, you used to say that. That's Solo talking to Jacob. He said, you used to say that, but you don't really say that anymore. What was that you used to say? He reminds him that the U.S. title on his shoulder is proof. And he asks Jacob Fatu, what is that you used to say to me? Because you don't really say it anymore. How was it that you used to do it? He's hyping him up, trying to get him to say it, because I think he kind of knows you don't say it anymore and you don't want to say it right now. So Solo looks at him and he says, hey, man, I'm proud of you. And I love you. But tell me what that is you used to say to me. Jacob Fatu picks the microphone up slowly and he says, I love you, Solo. But Solo looks at him and laughs it off and he says, wait a minute now, that's not the way you used to say it. And we know the way he used to say it. So Solo was steady telling the crowd and talking to him and he said, hey man, how did you used to say it? Everybody here knows how you used to say it. And he used to say it like, I love you, Solo. Loud and proud. But tonight we just gotta, I love you, Solo. Solo gets a little disappointed, he gets a little upset, he gets a little angry, and he's repeatedly starts to ask Jacob Fatu to tell me how you used to say it. That's not the way you used to say it. You can do better than that. He kind of touches him a little bit, kind of taps him on the shoulder. Then he ends up for the third time after saying, you can do better than that. Fatu still not saying it the right way or the way he used to say it. And Solo shoved him a little bit to turn him around, get his attention, and he wouldn't say it. Before he even got a chance to do it or not do it, we heard LA Knight music. LA Knight didn't come from the front entrance, though. He snuck up behind them and he attacked JC Manteo from behind, got him out in the ring, got a few good licks in, jumped the barricade, went to the back. Continue to tell everybody, all three guys, that I'll get you one by one. If I have to, I'll get all three of you. This is him just talking so we can pick it up a little bit and we hear it as they are, moving on to the next segment, which was B-Fab and Ming Chin in the back. And then Chelsea Green popped up with her secret Hervis, and they get to talking and talking about the money in the bank. Chelsea Green says once she wins, something about an economic policy and something about trickle down effects that will lower interest rates. Chelsea Green is something else. Lower interest rates for my secret. And she says, see you out there. They're snuck up from behind. From behind sneaks up Alexa Bliss. So she's on TV weekly again, finally. And we've been wanting her to talk more. That's what I would like for her to do. Still hadn't got a promo from her, but she sneaks up, taps Chelsea on the shoulder, and she jumps and she looks startled. And basically, she just says, see you out there. Meet Chin. She looks like, okay, yeah, see you out there. It's going to be a good match. Chelsea's a little bit upset, like she came from out of nowhere. And she's just doing the same thing she does, just being a brat and, you know, funny, very funny. Chelsea Green comes out in her nice United States, as if she's not the United States champion anymore, but she came out in her United States gear, trying to look like the Statue of Liberty, what she's been doing here for a while. So she has this match. I like how they did the qualifying matches. I do like how they did it because it was triple threat matches on the men's and the women's side. They started with the women, and I like how they done that, where it was Chelsea Green versus Michin versus Alexa Bliss. So, and it was a pretty good match. Started off a little slow, but it they really got to crank it up a little bit. And it looked like Chelsea Green was going to win this thing for a minute. I was almost thinking that maybe that's why they took the United States champion off of her and put it on Zelina Vega because she's about to make her way up to the main card. But that's not what happened. She did not win the match. It was a good match. It looked like she was going to win. But at the end of the day, after Chelsea Green hit her unprettier, she started to flex a little bit instead of just pinning Michin immediately. Alexa Bliss, who had just been thrown out of the ring, Chelsea Green has to realize she didn't do enough. She didn't knock her out or anything. So Alexa Bliss pulls Michin out of the ring before she gets pinned. And she gets in the ring and she puts this Sister Abigail on Chelsea Green. And I mean, she laid it on her really good. And Alexa Bliss got the 1, 2, 3. And now Alexa Bliss has qualified for the Money in the Bank match. She is one of the, I don't know how many women is going to be in the Money in the Bank. Isn't it like 5 or 6? So they're going to have these qualifying matches for the next few weeks. And Money in the Bank, I think, is June 7th. So it's the 16th. We got a couple of more weeks. They'll get the matches out of the way probably by the end of next week, by next week. And maybe the week after that is where we will have pretty much just a little bit of build, which will pretty much probably be the homecoming show or close to it before we get to Money in the Bank in LA. And LA Knight right now is having issues with the bloodline still, or I mean, Solo and his people, Fatu and JC Manteo. But he is going to be in the Money in the Bank qualifying match. I'll get to that a little bit later. After the qualifying match on the women's side that Alexa Bliss won, they showed a video package of the Street Profits and the match that they had with um man, I can't think of that damn tag team name right now. Axum, Fraxium. So Fraxium, got jumped from behind though by DIY when they were in the back celebrating their win. Um, that they had over the Street Profits last week, I believe. The next time it'll be for the titles, and that's coming sooner than you think. We'll get to that. So they showed all of that because that we had a tag team match that was coming up that I really don't care much about, and that was Fraxium, who had a match with DIY. Again, they're not doing much with the tag team division. all they're doing is just finding ways, and they're running out of ways. They have run out of ways on making these tag teams fight each other. And there's no storyline in anything other than just you beat me, now I'm gonna beat you, and you beat them, so now we're gonna beat them. And now since we beat them, it's our turn to fight them. It's just like 3 or 4 tag teams that they're just playing around with. You know, where it's pretty deadly. They'll be back too pretty soon, I'm sure, and they'll do the same damn thing, try to fight the same other tag teams. Fraxium got the win, but after they got the win, they started to beat up on Fraxium before the Motor City Machine Guns came out to kind of save the day. Um, anyway, I don't want to talk about that because it's very, very it's not interesting at all to me, not intriguing. We got Ray Phoenix in the back after that match, and he was met by Andrade, somebody who hasn't been in the match in about I don't know, a couple of months maybe. And if it was just for I don't know. Maybe he was in the match right before WrestleMania. I'm not sure, but we ain't seen him in action much. He still doesn't do promos. We can barely really understand, his English speaking. But he's in the back talking about Ray Phoenix. He's got this fire inside, and Ray Phoenix is talking about how he's ready to, win this Money in the Bank qualifying match and go for the gold because he has to, like do something. He needs to get a win to bounce back from his WrestleMania defeat. Even though that WrestleMania defeat was on short notice, he was just filling in for Rey Mysterio. As they're talking about the chances that he has, they were interrupted by Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa was just like, "Man, have you seen me, L.A. Knight? Where the hell is he?" They were like, "No, speak English or something." They weren't trying to tell him anything, and Solo was like, "Should have known I was wasting my time." And they just walk off. Jacob Fatu took his shades off and looked at those guys eye to eye, and he kept on walking. He's still following Solo, but they're slowly gonna let that heat build and build and build. Let it keep boiling until Fatu finally says, "Man, I don't need you. I'm the one who has a championship here. You don't. I think it's time for y'all to listen to me." And that ain't gonna happen either. Solo is probably gonna attack him. He and JC. You see how he's acting now that JC is there behind by his side. He finally said what he needed to say and how you don't love me anymore, do you? You're not saying it. They were about to get into it and they'll get deeper into it. But I like how, he's doing it now. It's almost like they were waiting on JC to come. And he should have been there, I think, but he had some issues traveling wise, getting back into the country or whatever, something like that. So anyway, we move on. And we saw Nia Jax. They gave us a shot at her in the back preparing, walking, whatever, getting ready. She knows she had a match tonight. It was going to be Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. We saw Fraxium in the back, and Fraxium was in the back talking about their tag team title shot that they have next week on SmackDown against the tag team champions, the Street Profits. They ran into the Street Profits in the back, and they were dressed up in blue, and they actually dapped up Fraxium and gave him a handshake, but they told him to bring it because they definitely were going to do it 100%. They said they were going to bring it 100%. Hopefully, you boys do too. Fraxium looked at each other like, "Man, we got fever. We're on a roll now. We're really on a roll now." Like they can't even really believe it. And they just in celebration went on to the back. So yeah, next week we got Fraxium. After about like 4 straight victories, now they are competing for the WWE Tag Team Championships next week against the Street Profits. After that, we got an interview with Wade Barrett and R Truth. "Hey, what's up, B Ball? B Ball's in the building." He said Nuggets versus Knickerbockers would be interesting if it happens. Man, the Nuggets got to win game 7 without Aaron Gordon. I don't know. Scroll back a little bit, man, and listen to some of the things that I said about the basketball. I already talked about it. Congratulations to the Knicks again. I hope they are in the NBA Finals, but will it be against the Nuggets? That I don't know, man. It may be the Thunder and the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals, and maybe the Knicks will play one of them if they can make it. Go back and listen to what I had to say about that, though, man. I'm trying to run through Smackdown review right now, but I wouldn't mind the Nuggets and the Knicks. I would not. But man, they're asking for a lot out of Jokic tomorrow night. He's going to need to score about 60. He's going to have about 20 boards and 15 assists. And even then, they still may lose by 3. I don't know. Just saying. But I like that, though, man. Nuggets and Knickerbockers. We'll see. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Go back and check that out for me, man. The first 20 minutes. I said a lot about the basketball and Brock Purdy's contract that happened today. All right, moving on. Our Truth was in an interview with Wade Barrett, and this was kind of funny, y'all. This was kind of funny. Wade Barrett is just asking him, "How do you feel about what happened?" Because at Backlash, John Cena really probably wouldn't have won and retained his WWE Championship if it wasn't for our Truth, who came out, stopped Randy Orton from punting John Cena's head off, and John Cena got the win. He got RKO'd, but that still distracted him enough to get Cena to put that AA on him and hit him with that belt, knock him out, pin him 1, 2, 3. Well, the kick and the the shot, the head shot with the title belt. That's his patented signature move now. I do like that part. So Truth has a reason. He's had something to do with Cena retaining the title. Wade Barrett asked him, how does he feel about it? You know? And I'm like, yeah, tell me how you feel. Tear his ass up. Our Truth instead says things like, man, John Cena's still my hero. He's still my childhood hero. I'm like, what the he says that, Truth said, listen to yourself. No, no, no. That was Red Barry saying, listen to yourself. And this was after our Truth said, I want to make sure I say all of this right. And I didn't write the notes down. I'm sorry. But he said, what did John Cena say? Your time is now. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Those are not just words, Wade. It's a beacon of life. If John Cena did it, so can you. He's basically talking like he has no problem with what John Cena did. But then he explains a little bit more why after Wade Barrett says, man, what are you talking about? This sounds crazy. He says, you kept John Cena from winning. And now you're giving him nothing but praises? Our Truth says, you don't know John Cena like I know John Cena. That man at the practice was not John Cena. I mean, at Backlash were not John Cena. John Cena would turn his back on the people that support and love him. The John that I know, he said he wouldn't be talking about ruining wrestling. He would put his friend, and he would put his brother through a table. That's him. He's talking about himself, our Truth. He said, but if I have to beat the senses into John Cena, I will. But he's just telling us that this is not the John Cena that he knows or looks up to. He said he doesn't want to fight John Cena. He doesn't want to fight John. But if I have to beat him back to his senses, then I will do it. I am going to do it. I already taught the nigga all this. He said it's set. Saturday night, main event. Wade, John is the greatest of all time. But I remember what my hero told me when facing the impossible. Never give up. And regardless of what happens this Saturday night, he said he's walking out with his head held high. Because I'm going to live by those 3 words: hustle, loyalty, and respect. So he's using all of Cena's stuff. And he said, and that's what's up. Wade said, well, Truth, I wish you the best of luck. He looked a little bit more happy knowing that he's still going to fight him. But it was funny how he led up to saying that he's going to fight him. He actually was still praising John Cena and saying that this just isn't the John Cena that I know. But if I have to beat the senses back into him, I will. It's already set. I taught the Nick all this. He could have just led with that, but he Still wanted to give Cena his flowers. This is gonna be good. Me and Terrence was saying that it was gonna be our truth and Cena. We didn't know how soon, but that's what they did it for. That's what the John Cena gave our truth an attitude adjustment last week out the backlash ended during the post conference show. That was the reason for that. Saturday night main event, our truth, John Cena. What do you think about that? I think that's going to be good. Look, they showed a lot of matches tonight that have unfolded for Backlash next Saturday, May 24th, NBC and Peacock. The Saturday night main event is actually lining up to be better than Backlash was. To be honest with you, they were just throwing matches together for Backlash, and I think they were really preparing for this Saturday night main event. A lot of things that we complain about sometimes with the booking, we do have to be a little bit more patient and understand that they are just trying to get through a certain PLE or whatever they have to get to this because the Saturday night main event is kind of interfering with the way they want to do the booking. So it makes sense for them to say, well, wherever we're going with these stories and these superstars after WrestleMania, let's get through Backlash and Saturday Night Main Event first before we really get it popping. And I think that's what that pretty much is them. I think that's what they're doing. After that, again, they were getting out to a pretty good start. They're kind of on a roll here, but after that, we ended up getting Aleister Black. Um, Aleister Black. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I don't really buy the whole darkness, all the dark gimmick stuff that he's doing. I didn't get it in AEW. I didn't buy it then. I don't buy it now. I'm just not, he's not my cup of tea. NXT, I didn't watch him. I just knew that everybody was like, you know, he was kind of over, but he's not getting much of a reaction with the WWE crowd since he's returned to the WWE. And tonight he got little to no reaction. Did I hear a few fans? Yeah, but his interest music is so damn loud. I really can't tell if it's kind of a pop out there or not. But it wasn't much of one. If it was, you would still hear it over the music. But if I have to kind of listen to see, then there isn't one. So that's my thing with him. He's not that good. He's just not. But anyway, he has a rematch. He's out there for a rematch with Carmelo Hayes. Don't ask why they throw Carmelo Hayes in these matches with some of these superstars, some of these NXT rejects that went to AEW and then came back to WWE, and now they're trying to push them. Really, just wanting to fill up their mid card and just put them on a bigger and better presentation to say hi hi. It's all out of spite to AEW. These guys are going nowhere. It seems Andrade is doing nothing but talking to people in the back. Ain't been in a match, is still not involved in any real story. Aleister Black is back, just having matches. And Carmelo Hayes has been running around with The Miz, which still is, to me, very, very, very stupid. They shouldn't do this. I don't know if people like Carmelo Hayes or not. I don't know if he's getting heat and getting booed, or if they kind of like him, even though he's a heel, they still cheer for him. It's hard to know how they feel about him when The Miz is coming out there with him. He's kind of getting no reaction too, not much of one. They boo him a little bit, but not enough. And I don't know. I don't know if they know what to do because the Miz is out there kind of ruining everything, in my opinion. I don't like it. All the hoorah, hoorah. Who are you? I'm him. Who are you? I'm him. We know that. Carmelo can sell his own self. His shtick is good enough, and it can be done by himself. Now, I do like how Carmelo is kind of, kind of telling me is like, I got it. Chill. Let me handle this. But maybe they're setting up for Carmelo to just beat the hell out of Miz at some point. They'll get Miz back babyface. Carmelo will take a lot of more heat. He'll get a bigger reaction, and he better beat the Miz because the Miz is just there to be a jobber, right, and put people over. And this will be the first stepping stone for Carmelo to work his way up to some gold, a lot of wins and some gold, in the mid card for now, of course. But it's time to get that started. All right, he came over last year. He's been here over a year now on the main scene. We've got other people moving up from NXT to here, so let's go ahead and get that going. It was a good match though, kind of. Yeah, it was a pretty good match. Carmelo Hayes can wrestle. Aleister Black, he's all right. Um, he's all right. just a lot of kicks and stuff, and he's all right. But anyway, moving on with the match. This match kind of went on for a little while. Um, but what happened? How did this match end? Well, it was no winner. And again, this is what I don't like about the WWE. Carmelo Hayes could have got a roll up pin win just like Aleister Black did last week. Now I'm okay with Carmelo Hayes not taking none of Aleister Black's kicks or any kind of missed or anything. He's not spraying it. He's not doing any of that. Did Aleister Black ever do that? Yeah, he did in AEW. But I guess that's Shinsuke Nakamura's thing right now. So anyway, I'll talk about him too in a minute. So I see they want Aleister Black to be babyface or a tweener because Shinsuke is actually back now. He had a vignette that I'll tell you about in a minute where he's actually coming for Aleister Black. In this match, though, we get a no contest because the Miz was up on the apron trying to interfere or something like that, and Aleister Black ran into Carmelo Hayes and it knocked the Miz off the apron. And I guess the Miz was mad about that, so he wanted to get in the match and interrupt it, and it became to be a no contest. Um, Again, they could have let Carmelo just get the roll up pin. He had did it, and then they let him kick out. Did he take a few shots from Aleister Black? Yeah, he did. But I mean, they still let Carmelo look good. I'll give them that, but they still couldn't give him the win. It was a no contest. Now, the only way they can make Carmelo look good from this or make them look better as they should is they need to have a third match. And this time Carmelo needs to win and just end it there. Aleister Black got the first win. It was no contest the second time, and Carmelo Hayes will get the win the third time. Do that. Or maybe Carmelo is about to go off on Miz next week on SmackDown for costing him his match. Maybe he can complain about that because he didn't get the win and he should be mad about that. The Miz interrupted the match, so that made it a no contest. He jumped on Aleister Black. Aleister Black still whooped the Miz's ass, and for the second straight week, the Miz took that vicious kick from Aleister Black. From behind, though, was Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes attacked Aleister Black, beat him up pretty good, and then got on the top rope and hit Aleister Black from the top with what's that thing called? The young cocky Carmelo Hayes. It's called Money in the Bank. No, not Money in the Bank. I'm talking about Money in the Bank. Nothing but net. Nothing but net is what he calls it. Off the top rope with the like one leg over the back of Aleister Black's head as he comes down on him, and he calls it nothing but net. He poses, stands over Aleister Black. I like all of that, but he still didn't get the win. Will this continue next week with Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes and The Miz? I'm not sure. After the vignette that I'll tell you about with Shinsuke Nakamura, you would think that maybe they're going to end that. Maybe that's it. All right, I didn't beat you, but I still beat your ass after the no contest. Everybody kind of wins and doesn't look so bad, but Aleister Black still could have lost if the Miz had something to do with it. But they don't want him to take a pin yet. We get it. Moving on, Alexa Bliss was in the back with Byron Saxton, and she was like, "What was that question that Byron Saxton asked? Something about you returning, and you've qualified for the Money in the Bank match. Congratulations. How do you feel?" And she's about to talk, and then she looks over and says, "I'm sorry, Byron. Excuse me for a minute. I need to go do something." And she starts walking down the hallway, and she said, "Hey." And then we get the camera on Charlotte Flair. Charlotte is the one who's standing there. And Charlotte was like, "What's up, man? What are we doing here?" Because she was trying to get her attention last week. Alexa Bliss was reminding Charlotte that when she was in NXT, Charlotte actually helped her out. Um, she said, "I don't know why, but for some reason, you were actually pretty good to me. And I just wanted to let you know I don't forget that. I never forgot it." Charlotte is acting very nonchalant. She says, "I don't even remember any of that," basically. And let's see if I can get her words straight just to make sure, because that's very important. Again, she's asking, like, why are we here? What are we doing here? And I told you Alexa Bliss was just reminding Charlotte that, hey, you helped me out when I was in NXT. And I just wanted you to know. First, she asked her, have you thought about what we talked about? And Charlotte was like, like no or whatever. And she's like, look, when I came to NXT, no one would give me a time of the day, but you did. You took me under your wing and, you were a decent human being for some reason. And I just want to let you know I haven't forgot it. Then we see Julia coming out of the locker room, out of Nick Aldis' office. And they just kind of look at her. Julia looks at Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And then the general manager, Nick Aldis, steps out and he says, Charlotte, Alexa, meet Julia. She just signed her new contract now that she has been bumped up from NXT to the Smackdown roster. Congratulations to Julia. Nick told Charlotte, now let's you and I talk about money in the bank. Charlotte said, if you want to help, stay out of my way because I don't need you. Those were the words that she said to Alexa Bliss before she walked into Nick Aldis' office. What the hell is Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown? What is he doing talking to Charlotte for? About money in the bank? About what? So we know she's going to be in a qualifying match or something, evidently. And I heard Jay say something about a qualifying match too. So she's must going to be in it. They're doing it in threes, those triple threats. So that means they're probably going to be in a qualifying match. We just need to know who that third person is. Moving on after getting more Cardi B commercials about her hosting SummerSlam, as if anybody really cares. We start getting a vignette of Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. And this is dating back to 4 months ago when Nia Jax was still the WWE Women's Champion, which was a good time in the WWE. She just wasn't involved in enough story stuff, but they were doing okay with it, and I liked it because Nia Jax has been doing a great job. And Tiffany Stratton, before she became the champion, she was doing pretty good, just kind of being Nia Jax. Well, she wasn't her enforcer, but she was her homie, her girl. Do whatever you say, do. I'm following you. I'm under your wing. And so they show everything that's happened and transpired over the past 4 months, from Nia Jax being the champion to the money in the briefcase winner, Tiffany Stratton cashing that money in the bank in on her supposedly friend Nia Jax, her sidekick. She went from being just Nia Jax's sidekick to the WWE Women's Champion when she cashed it in on her. And this should have been the build to WrestleMania 41, but Charlotte came in and said, I want to just fuck all of that up because I want to be at WrestleMania. Now they're getting back to what they should have been doing in the first damn place. But anyway, they show Nia Jax, and she's basically telling Tiffany that her time is up. She's going to win back her women's championship. So they're teasing the main event for the night, and I mean, it was a banger. It really was a good main event. It was a good main event. After that, in Greensboro, North Carolina, SmackDown returned, and we got Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre showed up, and he cut a good promo once again, talking about the damages that fall into that table did to him. And there were dirt sheets out there, reports in the wrestling world and the IWC and everything that he suffered a concussion, we think, or they were trying to make sure he didn't. Maybe he didn't, but they were monitoring him very carefully after backlash because they say he banged his head pretty damn hard, and that's concrete. That was a concrete floor that head of his hit when he went through the table by Damian Priest. So he came out and he was just saying he has all of the accolades. He said he would have been a Grand Slam champion if it wasn't for what happened at Backlash. He says you're trying to take out the competition, and I genuinely believe he's talking to Damian Priest now. I genuinely believe that you're doing it because you choke slammed me off a 15-foot platform and slammed me through a table. Drew McIntyre looked pissed. Man, he looked pissed. And he just pauses for a minute and just stares in the camera. And after talking about his head going into the concrete, he said that has to end. I will see you inside that cage next Saturday, Saturday night's main event. And I am going to make you, well, I'm going to guarantee, because when Drew makes a guarantee, it happens. Um, he snapped. He was very mad, very pissed. Drew McIntyre said, "Yeah, somebody's gonna leave out in the cage, and somebody's gonna leave out on the stretcher." And when he says when he makes a guarantee, it happens. That's a mic drop. He dropped the mic and he went on out of the ring. What up, Johnny? Johnny Reynolds is in the building. So a steel cage match next Saturday on NBC and Peacock. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Saturday night's main event. And it's gonna be a real slobber knocker, as Jim Ross would say. Prayers to Jim Ross too. Something came out yesterday that he is dealing with colon cancer. He just found out, and he'll be having some surgeries or something like that in the coming weeks. We hope and pray that everything will be all right with Jim Ross. The Saturday night main event card is pretty good, man. I just told you about the steel cage match with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Then they showed us R-Truth versus John Cena. Even though that's not for the WWE Championship, it should be though. Then they showed Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Saturday night's main event. Logan Paul going against Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. All this takes place next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, NBC and Peacock. Saturday night main event. That card looks better than Backlash, man. It really does. It really does. So I gave you the lineup of matches. And as they show that, Drew McIntyre is making his way out of the ring and he's going to go back, through the door, go back through Gorilla. Before he gets out of the picture, as he gets up the ramp, Solo Sokoa music starts playing, and he's already coming out, interrupting Drew McIntyre before he, makes his exit completely. They have a stare down. Drew McIntyre looks pissed still at those guys, but he has other issues. So he just stares them down, walks around them, makes his way onto the back. Solo stares him down. They all do. Fatu and JC Manteo, formerly known as Jeff Cobb. And Solo just says, "Come on, guys, let's go." So he goes on and finishes his interest in the ring, and this is a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Solo Sokoa versus Big Jim, Jimmy Uso versus Ray Phoenix. Triple threat match. This is pretty good too. Big Jim took some shots, man. He put his baby brother over for real tonight. And Solo got a lot of cheap shots, put his big brother Jim Uso through a table. Ray Phoenix was just kind of in the way or staying out of the way while some of that was going on. Solo was looking dominant, so I'm thinking Solo's not going to win this. Money in the Bank, they want Ray Phoenix to win this match, and they want Ray Phoenix to razzle and dazzle us in a Money in the Bank match where we're going to have ladders, and I'm sure we're going to have tables, and at some point we may see some chairs. But it's just the Money in the Bank briefcase match, and you would just think they want Ray Phoenix to be in that. So I'm not going to lie, I kind of thought he was going to win in the beginning, but no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. This was a pretty decent match. However, Solo, Ray Phoenix almost had a pin on Jimmy Uso. No, I mean Jimmy Uso almost had a pin on Ray Phoenix. He hit him with a spear, a good one, and he thought he had him. He didn't get him though. Big Jimmy Uso looking in disbelief, and that wasn't enough. As Jimmy Uso is about to make a move, he's trying to get on the top rope. But as he was about to do that on the side apron, he got spiked, Samoan spiked from behind by Solo. Ray Phoenix then put a move on Solo, but he was distracted by JC Mantea, who was up on the apron, and he got spiked out of Greensboro. He got spiked all the way to Charlotte. I mean, Ray Phoenix really sold the hell out of that spike. He did the flip behind it, and Solo got the 1, 2, 3 pin. Couldn't believe it. But then again, he did talk a lot of cash money shit to open SmackDown. So it made sense for him to win this match, but I was still surprised that he won it. But he did. Notice Jacob Fatu didn't do anything to help Solo to victory. Nothing. Even though Solo's been helping Jacob Fatu, helped him retain his title. But yeah, Fatu did nothing. It was JC who. Now I'll take that back. Jacob Fatu did get up on the apron to come for Jimmy Uso. I'll take that back. He did, and that's what distracted Jimmy Uso before he got on the top rope. And Jimmy Uso kicked Jacob Fatu off the apron, and then that's when Fatu was able to sneak up from behind him. Samoan spike him. It looked like Ray Phoenix was about to get Solo then after that from behind, and then that didn't happen because again, from the distraction of JC Manteo, man, what a spike from Solo, and that got the win. Now, Solo didn't get to celebrate his Money in the Bank qualifying match win too long because from out of nowhere again came LA Knight. And this time, LA Knight had a chair. Now, my question was why would the WWE let LA Knight come out with the chair after Solo has already won the match? Would have thought that LA Knight would have been the reason why Solo wouldn't have won. He would have been the reason why he lost. Maybe the reason why he even got pinned. But that didn't happen. So he has this chair and he took a shot at, I think, JC for a minute and he jumps on top of the table and he's just kind of, squaring up with the chair in his hand, looking at all three of them like, come on. But it's three of them. They're going to get that chair from you eventually and they're going to beat your ass. Nick Aldis knows this, I guess, so he comes out immediately and he says, we got to put a stop to all of this. You guys want to fight? How about we fight? We can do it. Let's do it right now. Somebody get me a referee. Now, Solo has already had a match, so he ain't going to be in it. Jacob Fatu is the U.S. champion, and he ain't. He's in his street clothes. He's not going to be in it, so he has to be talking about JC, Jeff Cobb, Manteo, who is going to be in a match now. He's going to debut. His first match in the WWE is now about to take place after the commercial break, a long commercial break. All of these ads are very long, but we're going to get JC Manteo debut in the WWE on SmackDown against LA Knight. This was a long match. SmackDown was turning out to be a damn good show, and then that match happened. Though I wish they hadn't done that. I wish they hadn't done that, but they did, and it started to get better as we went along, but it went too long, in my opinion. But it did start to get better. Um, both guys went at it inside the ring, outside the ring, throwing each other into the steel steps, off the apron, banging each other's head off the table. They did a lot of things. They kind of did it all, but it was very, very slow paced. And I guess that's JC's style. That's how he fights. I don't see a lot of his matches. I remember seeing maybe one or two of them when he was in AEW. He made a few AEW appearances, but other than that, I ain't saw much. He's a very short dude, but he's very strong. He's pretty thick. He's about like 265, 270. And that's a lot of weight for him to only be probably like, he looked like he's barely 5 feet tall. He's a big, thick dude, though. And he's very strong. Don't underestimate his strength. LA Knight found out about his strength tonight. Solo and Jacob Fatu are still standing outside the ring. They got a lot of TV time tonight. Open up the show. Then toward the end of the show, they had a match where JC had a match with LA Knight, and they stayed out there the whole time. So they got a lot of action tonight. A lot of action tonight, and we kind of got somewhere further with the Bloodline 2.0 or whatever they're calling them these days, or just Solo Fatu JC. There were they were LA Knight thought he had to win, but Once again, he got distracted by Solo and Jacob Fatu on the outside. By the time he gets back in the ring, he gets caught. JC catches him in the air, hits him with a slam. He just slams him down, drops, put that weight on him with those scoop power. And JC Mateo, he gets his win. You knew he was going to win. It was his debut match. You knew he was going to win. But a good move for LA Knight to take those guys out when he jumped off the top rope and dived on the both of them, got back on the apron and jumped on the top rope again and fell into JC Mateo's arms. And that's how he got slammed and he was down for the 1, 2, 3. So two things happened tonight that I was kind of surprised about. LA Knight is not going to be in the Money in the Bank. I mean, no, I'm sorry. That wasn't a Money in the Bank qualifying match. They're probably still going to put him in it. He'll be in the qualifying match next week. I'll break that down in a minute. But still, LA Knight took the pin. That surprised me. Um, Solo Sokoa winning his Money in the Bank qualifying match. That surprised me. So I'll have to say that. But anyway, they stood tall over LA Knight, and we'll see how long they continue to uh, let LA Knight be involved with Solo, Jacob Fatu, and JC. Reggie Wright in the building. He said Stone Cold is number 3 on my Mount Rushmore. Okay. Yeah. Number 3, huh? Hey, as long as he's on there. I don't even really put those guys in order. As long as you can come up with 4, it doesn't matter what order you put them in, to be honest with you. But yeah, Stone Cold definitely is in Mount Rushmore as well. Moving on in SmackDown, man, we had Andrade. Hope all is well with you, Reggie, on a Friday night. We had Reggie, not Reggie, you're Reggie. What's his name? Santos. I don't really talk much about these guys either, man. Legado del Fantasma. They showed a clip of them from last week and whatever they got going on, and then we saw Santos in the back. And they were saying that the other member just needs his space, and Santos tried to just talk to him about loyalty. Like he said, I'm willing to forgive what happened last week. He said, why? He said, because there is something on the horizon, an opportunity that I secured. And this opportunity, he said, is going to help us make a statement. He said, I need something from you, though. He said he wants to share this together. He calls this an invitation to a sit down dinner party on me. He wants to discuss some things and to see where they belong. The other guy just kind of like, I don't know. He's not really feeling what he's talking about. But at the end, Santos just tells him that this is bigger than us. This is a family thing, and loyalty is everything. Loyalty is the one thing that I have always seen from you since day one. It would be a shame if all this loyalty, or if you lost all of this loyalty or whatever that we have. They're doing a family story, a family angle with these guys. I think NXT is doing the exact same thing, with the Mexican family that they got over there on NXT. So they're doing the same thing with this Mexican family. And I'm not really interested in it. It may get a little bit intriguing. That backstage cut wasn't that bad, but it's hard for us to feel it because we don't care enough about them to really care anything about it. But anyway, that was it. And then they showed Tiffany Stratton in the back walking because, well, she is about to get ready for her main event match. We made it to the main event. I can get through this a little faster by myself. Talking about SmackDown, it's a lot, but I'm doing it by myself, so I'm kind of flying through it. They let us know that there's a triple threat match next week. Triple threat match next week. They're going to be in Savannah, Georgia. Wonder will Cody Rhodes show up for that? Probably not. I don't think he's coming until after Money in the Bank. But anyway, they show us a triple threat next week for the qualifying match, just like this week. Next week is Aleister Black versus LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And I know you're thinking, why is Shinsuke Nakamura in it? Well, that's simple. They showed Shinsuke Nakamura right before that in a vignette, and he's talking. It's the only promos you're going to get from him. And I don't care for wrestlers that can't come to the ring and give me a good promo. But he basically is talking about Aleister Black, and he's saying, "I don't fear you." I guess he's saying he's been watching, but he says he says you hide behind smoke and mirrors, but deep down inside, there's a deeper darkness lurking behind the shadows. This is Shinsuke talking about Aleister Black. I hope they're going somewhere with this, guys. He says, "I'm sharpening my katana and watching all the while. I know every moment when your heart beats and every trigger that makes you lose control. Next week, when you two sink at my feet," and this is before we saw who the two people in the match he's going to be in, he says, "I will have my ticket to the Money in the Bank contract. And only then will you know that I am unstoppable, an unstoppable storm, an unstoppable blade, an unstoppable being." So that's Shinsuke laying a little gospel on his opponents for next week. He just jumps back into the fold out of nowhere. We ain't seen Shinsuke Nakamura in months, and now here he is. He's talking about Aleister Black, and he's going to be in a match with him and LA Knight in a triple threat. They must be about to do a mid card angle between Aleister Black and Shinsuke Nakamura. I would say because he didn't say anything about LA Knight, and he's already had his little story with LA Knight. They both swapped United States titles for a while, and they should be done with that. We don't want to see that anymore. That's why he didn't even mention him. He just talked about Aleister Black. So they're going to do something after that match. Something's going to happen. It's going to get very interesting. It's going to get personal. It's going to get personal. And that means that LA Knight somehow is going to win that match versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Aleister Black. And Aleister Black won't take the pin because he just got there. So Shinsuke Nakamura more than likely will take the pin. Aleister Black will be outside of the ring, knocked out or something like that. Who knows? But LA Knight's going to get the win because he's going to the Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank PLE, June 7th is in LA. LA Knight is from LA. And most people think that LA Knight will win the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hometown in LA at Money in the Bank. And if he does do that, who is he going to cash it in on one day at some point? You would think the heel, John Cena, but you know John Cena, I don't think he's about to lose the belt anytime soon. So how long will LA Knight hold that Money in the Bank? I think he probably holds it for a good 10, 11 months because I don't think they know what to do with him yet, and they're not ready for him to take the title off of anyone yet. He's not going to cash it in on Jey Uso, is he? Or is Gunther going to beat Jey Uso and their World Heavyweight Championship match, the Monday Night Raw after Money in the Bank? Would LA Knight show up and cash in that Monday just like that after Gunther wins his title back from Jey Uso? I don't know how Gunther would do that. I'm sure he wouldn't do it fair and square. Maybe Braun Breaker or somebody does something and play a part with their interference on how Jey Uso loses, but or Sami Zayn being that third guy. We'll probably know that too by out the Saturday night main event. I don't know. I'm just already kind of going down the road, just spitballing here. LA Knight's gonna win the Money in the Bank in LA more than likely, and I'm trying to figure out would he cash it in the Monday on the Monday Night Raw right after the championship match between Gunther and Jey Uso, or is he gonna hold it for the whole year? Which he very well could. I don't see him taking the title off of Uso or Cena just yet. I don't know who's gonna take the title off of Uso. No, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Seth Rollins. It's gonna be Seth Rollins. So yeah, maybe LA Knight just holds that Money in the Bank for a majority of 2025 until it's the right time, and that'll probably be, somewhere in the winter, more than likely. Maybe he'll be the champion for WrestleMania, you know, before he loses it. I don't know. Anyway, they're still showing some matches for next week. Another triple threat qualifying match is the women's side, where it'll be Charlotte Flair versus newly signed NXT free agent Julia. versus Zelina Vega, the United States Women's Champion. Don't know why the hell she would be in the match. She's trying to get all the gold, huh? Yeah, right. So you know Zelina's not winning. It's either Charlotte or Gilia. Damn, Julia. And Charlotte's gonna win. We pretty much know that. And then the tag team championship match next week between the Street Profits and Fraxium. That's all next Friday. Not a bad card. Not a bad card at all. I like how they're doing it in triple threat matches, these qualifying matches. So after they show the card for next week, we see Tiffany Stratton. She's about to get ready to walk out for her WWE Championship match, but she's interrupted by Jade. Jade Cargill is talking to Tiffany Stratton about the belt, saying that, hey, you're the champion. Yeah, you're doing good, but, keep it nice and shiny for me because I will be taking it when I win my qualifying match, which we don't know who she'll be in that qualifying match with because she has not been announced to be in one yet. But she was just telling Tiffany Stratton not to get too comfortable because she will be taking that title. Tiffany Stratton was pretty much like BS. You might be good enough to win your qualifying match, but you won't be good enough to beat me. Now let me go out here and beat Nia Jax and retain my title. One thing I don't know if anybody noticed or not was the lovely, brilliant, great heel work that we're getting from Naomi. She was seen twice tonight in the back, like in the very back, but still not far back enough to where you couldn't see her. And she didn't do anything. She didn't say anything. She's just standing there watching Tiffany Stratton and Jade have their conversation. Neither woman noticed Naomi. And this is not the first time we saw her either. As a matter of fact, who else was she seen when in the back? I believe it was when Charlotte and Alexa Bliss was having a conversation in the back. Also, we saw Naomi twice while two people were talking, two women, I believe, and yet nobody said a thing. Maybe it wasn't Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. I don't know who else. Who else? Who else? Who else? I'm not gonna stop until I find that. I'm sorry. I want to know exactly who it was because it's important. We're gonna see Naomi for real in front of the whole crowd during this main event that I'm about to get to and break down. But I'm trying to figure out exactly um, who was the other person where we saw Naomi in the back. And again, neither woman saw Naomi at all. Nobody felt anybody behind them or on the side of them or anywhere watching. You know how you feel somebody's presence? Nobody ever did when it came to Naomi. She was just back there in the cut, just observing everything. So no, it wasn't Naomi that was in the back when Alexa and Charlotte were talking, but it was it was somebody. And I'm gonna get to it and I'm gonna find it. Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? That Art Truth Wade Barrett interview was pretty funny, pretty good. Nice little setup, a nice way to set that up without John Cena being there. We know at some point he will say something. Okay, how many times did we see Naomi? Here's another time where we see Naomi when Nia Jax was being shown in the back, just stretching her neck, warming up for her championship match later in the show. Naomi was seen standing in the back, right behind Nia Jax. Nia Jax didn't feel a thing. She didn't feel a soul. She didn't know anybody was there. I'm not sure if that was the only time that we saw her or not. Let's see. Did she show up another time? That's two times right there. And her being behind Nia Jax, I think, was the first time that she showed that we saw her. Um, but I just want to make sure I'm right. I think so, though. I think it is because when Chelsea Green and those were talking B Fab and all of them, yeah, she wasn't seen then either. Okay, so it was just those two times. But still, we saw Naomi twice before we saw her for a third time when she came out during the main event. I just wanted to make sure Naomi was not in the fold of that. But no, she wasn't. Alexa Bliss was the one who snuck her from behind those ladies. before Chelsea Green had the match versus Michin and Alexa Bliss. So no, we didn't see her then. So the two times we saw her, the first time was when Nia Jax was like stretching. She's stretching her neck and everything, getting ready for her match, and she didn't feel Naomi behind her at all. That was the first time we saw Naomi, and nobody said anything. Even the commentators, they didn't say anything about Naomi. They only talked about the people who talked on camera and the people that they actually um, acknowledged. They only acknowledged the people that talked. They didn't say anything about Naomi being behind Nia Jax, watching her warming up. They didn't say anything about Nia Jax just standing back there in the cut when Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill were talking. Jade Cargill is letting it be known she is coming for the world title. She ain't even trying to do no mid card shit. She's not trying to be the United States Women's Champion. She's not trying to be the Women's Intercontinental Champion. She's trying to be the WWE Women's Champion. And she's letting Tiffany Stratton know that in the back. But while she was letting her know that, while Tiffany and Jay was talking, Naomi was standing there just looking very creepy. It was very cringed, and they never noticed her at all. Just like one of those thriller movies, and they're about to get killed, but they don't even know the killer is in the room. All she would do was just stand there, and you would see the no caution tape just hanging off of her, and still nobody noticed her at all. And Tiffany really was at an angle where, from her peripheral vision, you just know she should have seen Naomi, but she did not. That was good stuff by Naomi. Good work. So after her and Jay get through talking their shit, Tiffany Stratton comes out. Well, Nia Jax comes out first, then Tiffany Stratton. This actually kind of had a championship match feel. And it actually was a great match. Shout out to Nia Jax. Shout out to Tiffany Stratton. A lot of people, they're not the best at times in the ring, especially Tiffany Stratton, in my opinion. Nia Jax is a giant. She doesn't have to be great in the ring. She can get by doing a few things here and there. People think Andre Giant is one of the greatest of all time, and he wasn't good. He was just a giant. But when you're a giant, you know how to do enough to make the match, get your opponent over, and just be dominant when it's time to be dominant. And yeah, that's it. Never hardly hit the mat, never be on the floor, on the mat long or at all, depending on who it is. So this has a this has a a women's championship feel. It really does. And this match was really good. I'm surprised because, again, as I've said, both of these ladies sometimes struggle, and the other opponent, they have to rely on their opponent to make them look good. Putting them over or whatever, selling things. They do well at that, but sometimes. But these two actually got together and had a good match, and that's good. It's almost like, darn, we would have liked to have saw this at WrestleMania. They could have added a few more things to that match, and this would have been a great WrestleMania match. Night one would have been fine, or PLE, some PLE. So we get a good match though for SmackDown main event to close the show, and I'm glad they had this match and it was good because it was a good show that got boring during Aleister Black. I mean during JC Matea's match versus LA Knight. LA Knight didn't really do enough to make JC look good, and JC didn't do a lot to make LA Knight look good. The rhythm just, I don't know, they didn't work that good together, in my opinion, and that match went on too long, and it kind of almost put me to sleep. But they woke me up. The women's championship match, Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, that woke me up. Good match. These ladies went back and forth. They went back and forth all night, and they didn't do it long. Luckily they by the time they actually rung the bell, it was already like, what, 15 minutes left until the show ended. It was already like 9:45 Central Time on my end, and they had a big scare though off the top rope where Nia Jax had Tiffany Stratton up, and Tiffany Stratton countered it, but Nia Jax barely was able to get her head, to hit that mat without landing on her head. As these two ladies are laid out, stretched out right now from that, Naomi music hits, and she comes out with a chair. She doesn't have the caution tape on her, but she still has caution on her uniform, her outfit. She has the chair. She's about to enter the ring. We don't know why. She has nothing to do with Nia Jax or Tiffany Stratton, really, but I guess she feels the same way Jay does. I belong in the WWE Women's Championship picture. And maybe she wanted Nia Jax to win the match, or she didn't care. But she interfered. But as soon as she interfered, she didn't get to do anything. Jay Cargill came out immediately. And once again, she got her, jumped on her, attacked her immediately. And then they made their way out of the ring, jumped the barricade, and now they're gone. We thought that Tiffany Stratton was about to win. She went up the top rope with her patented signature, the prettiest moonsault in the world. And she hits it beautifully on Nia Jax. And Nia Jax kicked out. Now, everybody was surprised because nobody has ever kicked out of the prettiest moonsault in the world by Tiffany Stratton. But I wasn't surprised because, well, not really, because it's Naomi. I mean, that's Nia Jax. Nia Jax is supposed to kick out of any and everything damn near that Tiffany Stratton puts her in. She kicked out. And that's when it was starting to, minds were starting to shift. People that knew that Tiffany Stratton would retain, it was almost, people were probably thinking to themselves, hey man, are they about to give Nia Jax this title tonight? Nia Jax throws Tiffany Stratton out of the ring. She takes everything off the announcers table, and the announcers jump up and get out of the way because they know, she's about to put Tiffany Stratton on this table. And I wish it would have broke, but it did not. So she didn't go through the table, but she still got a good shot, throwing her on the table, slamming her with a body slam as Tiffany Stratton was over her shoulders, and she dropped her. Just fell backwards and dropped her on the table, threw her back in the ring, and she was getting ready for her finisher. And Tiffany Stratton was trying to counter it, and she couldn't pull Nia Jax off that rope, and she got stuck, trapped, and pinned. Nia Jax fell on her as, of course, Tiffany Stratton could not hold up that weight. And Nia Jax got on top with that move of hers, and the referee pinned 1, 2, and I thought it was probably gonna be 3, and it was not. Tiffany Stratton didn't even kick out. She didn't have to. She wouldn't have kicked out for that. That's why it was a good spot. She was right close enough to the rope to reach her arm out, and she put her hand on the bottom rope. This was a good match. Nia Jax said, forget all of this shit. She grabbed the women's championship herself and told the referee she's getting out of here with it. So that distracted the ref as he took the belt from Nia Jax. Nia Jax grabbed the chair instead, and Nia Jax jumped back in the ring immediately and was about to hit Tiffany with that chair, but Tiffany kicked that chair into Nia Jax's face. The chair falls out the ring, and then we get the prettiest moonsault in the world again. Tiffany Stratton pins Nia Jax for the 1, 2, 3, and she retains the WWE Women's Championship. She stands tall, holds the championship up. Nia Jax continues to lay there. The end. And that concludes the 3 hour SmackDown show that should be going back to 2 hours. I would say, I think June. So maybe right after the bill to Money in the Bank, I would say the first SmackDown after Money in the Bank will probably go back to 2 hours. But this was it. Pretty good SmackDown. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. That's all I've got. My time is about up. It's been real. Hope everybody enjoyed. It's a Friday night. It's hard to get everybody in here on a Friday night. I see that now when it comes to YouTube Live. But I talk about SmackDown and review the show, but it really does seem like I could probably wait till Saturday morning to do these SmackDown reviews. I'm not sure, or even if I'll continue to do them. Let me know in the comment section what you prefer me to debate about. I've asked a few times. Please let me know. It helps me out here in the algorithm. If you could drop a thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Um, but yeah, who would like for me to continue to do these SmackDown post shows, Monday Night Raw post shows? We get a few people in here on Monday nights, but SmackDown is Friday night, and maybe I don't know. From looking at the numbers, maybe I should just wait till Saturday morning. I don't know, or maybe I shouldn't do it at all. Let me know in the comments what you would like for me to talk about. I had to come here to talk about the Celtics and the Knicks anyway. And while I was at it, talked about Aaron Gordon, who now has a right hamstring strain, and he is doubtful for Game 7. Can the Nuggets win that Game 7 without him? I'm taking OKC. I slightly took OKC anyway, slightly. Now I think they can win by double digits. Now we'll see, but it's going to take a lot from the Joker. And even then, that probably won't be enough because when he has to do so much, which he's capable of doing and will do, that usually doesn't result in wins. But when he can score 29 like he did in game 6 and get 28 from Murray and more production from Michael Porter Jr., then you got a chance to win. So I don't know. I talked about all of that and then I review SmackDown. So that's pretty much it for me. That's all I got. Um, I'll be back Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel, noon Eastern, 11 Central. The Great Debate Show. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Monday through Fridays. It's me, The Great Debate Show, talking about all of the current events going on in the NFL, NBA, all around sports and entertainment. Next week, I'll talk more about Canelo versus Crawford. I will talk and why the weight is not going to matter in this particular fight. I understand boxing. I understand all the scientific breakdown of it. When you break down the terminology of boxing, I get it. But in this case, I'm going to tell you why Terrence Crawford is going to win this match, regardless of the moving up to his second weight class. And I will talk more about Brock Purdy and his contract. What does this mean for the 49ers? Well, he's happy. Purdy is definitely laughing to the bank right now. But did the 49ers make a huge mistake? Or did they do the right thing by paying him and getting it taken care of now? As I was saying earlier today, though, paying Brock Purdy next year, waiting till next year, you're going to be paying him over 60 million then because he's probably going to ball out this year because they got the weakest schedule, the easiest schedule in 2025. So they did a good job to go ahead and pay him now. But I'll talk this week, starting Monday, on if that was the right number or not, if I agree on that. The 49ers, what did they save? 7 million per year if Purdy was asking for 60 and they drew the line at 53. They started with 45 and they got up to 53. So I would say the 49ers pretty much got played. They buzzed pretty quick. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have did it, but they caved in pretty quick. I mean, I would have much rather had saw him sign at 48 or just 50 even. But doesn't look like he was going. But like, man, look, Brock Purdy, he deserves it though. Somewhat. He didn't deserve all of that, but he deserves a lot of it. For him to do what he's done, being the last pick in the 2022 draft, is phenomenal. He's exceeded his expectations. But everybody was saying, man, just shut up and pay the man. Now people are about to start asking, should they have to pay the man? Because now it's happened and we can move on from the drama. Brock Purdy has been paid 5 years, 265 million, 53 per annually, 181 million guaranteed. Now, is he going to give the 49ers their money's worth, or is he about to show us all that the Niners made a terrible mistake? That remains to be seen, and we will find out. But I'll talk about more of that next week, along with Canelo versus Crawford in September. Some people think it's the biggest match of the decade. Some people think it's not at all. People like Oscar De La Hoya. I'll talk about all that next week. Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's all I got. And I'll be talking on Monday's show, I'll be talking about the winner of Sunday's game 7 between OKC and Denver. I got OKC and the Wolves in the Western Conference Finals. We have the Pacers and Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. That game 1 is Wednesday. I'll talk about that as well. Getting ready for game 1 on Monday. Until we yeet again, you all be safe out there and peace.